Hey up, it's Stephen, old Yorkshire Geek. A bit of news now, a bit of Stargate news. This is from Gate World, and the title is Stargate's TV co-creator is confident in the franchise's return. I wish I was, but this is from a couple of days ago. So let's have a read of this article, shall we? So here it is. I'll pop it up on the screen now. Are you ready? There it is. As I said, from Gate World, right. Stargate's TV co-creator is confident in the franchise's return. Brad Wright addresses the state of Stargate in 2025 and why he is confident that Amazon MGM Studios will revive the franchise. I wish I were confident, but anyway. I really, really do. Is that big enough for you to read? Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? The Stargate franchise has been off the airwaves for a lot of years now, more than 14 years since Stargate Universe aired its final episode, but despite Studio MGM dragging its feet on reviving the hit science fiction franchise, which it was I'm baffled as to why it's not returned. One of the creators of the Stargate TV universe is still confident that it's only a matter of time. Writer and executive producer Brad Wright addressed the state of the franchise during a recent stage appearance at FedCon 33 in Bonn, Germany. And this is what he said. Yes, there probably will be another Stargate, Wright said. No, I don't know when. These are smart people. I'm guessing he's talking about the people at Amazon MGM. They're not. I'm looking at the camera. You can't see me, but I'm shaking my head. They know that they don't want to piss off the people that love the existing franchise that they just spent a ton of money on. They don't care, Brad. Brad. Why are you being so naive? Haven't you seen what they've done? Not particularly Amazon MGM, but they are guilty of other things. Have you seen what Rings of Power, Wheel of Time? That's just Amazon that's messed those up. They don't care about the fans. They just want... to be honest, I don't know what they want. They just want to get their message across. But anyway. And they learned, he said, and they learned the lesson from another show recently that I won't mention, that they should stick to what fans already love a little bit. Okay, so what's he talking about there? Is he talking about Rings of Power on Amazon, or is he talking about, I don't know, Doctor Who or Star Trek, which are on other platforms? I have no idea. I don't know, he says. I have not had this conversation, but I'm pretty confident that they're going to try to find a new audience while not alienating the old audience. Is that possible? Yes, it is. Anyway, I think they would be crazy to alienate the existing fan base and not to keep in mind that Stargate belongs in the here and now. They don't care about the old audience. We learned this all the way back with Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy. When she took over, she didn't want Star Wars to be for the original fans, for that, you know, the 40 and 50-year-old men that got into it as a kid, people like me. And that's the mindset in Hollywood. That's how they all think, because they're all mental. But anyway. Yes, Stargate does belong in the here and now, and they should get a new series out. But it needs to be a fun, action, sci-fi, adventure series, not something that's going to lecture us about what we should do and what we shouldn't do and how we should live and how we shouldn't live. You know, I'm not saying it shouldn't cover those problems, I'm putting quotes, problems in life, but we shouldn't be lectured to, like a lot of series and movies and all that stuff do these days. But anyway, I'm waffling. Right, MGM is now Amazon MGM Studios since the historic studio was acquired by Amazon in 2022. Amazon acquired MGM for $8.45 billion, which I think is really low. But especially when you see other studios going for a heck of a lot more money than that. But anyway, MGM for a while it was the premier studio in Hollywood, you know, the studio that you could look for them to bring like quality blockbuster movies, you know, historical epics and all this stuff. But anyway, plus it's the James Bond studio. Anyway, $8.45 billion in part for its legacy intellectual property, including Stargate, as well as James Bond, Rocky and Creed, Legally Blonde, Vikings, RoboCop. Is that series still good? They're supposed to be doing a new series of RoboCop, weren't they? Is that still in the works? I have no idea. Pink Panther and more. And there's Atlantis. Amazon bought MGM in no small way because Stargate is one of their assets, he said. So I don't know when, but I promise you they will do something. And because they're taking their time, that just means that it's going to be cool. No, it just means they're dragging their feet like they do with everything. I'm hoping, because I'm going to be a fan, just like everybody else in this room, of the new show. I don't think Brad really knows. I think it's the old people from, the old Stargate, the old SG-1, Atlantis and Universe. I think they're basically there. They've got nothing to do with what's going to happen Stargate going forward. If they do new Stargate, I think it'll be entirely new. And I think they will alienate the old fans, because the fans of Stargate now, essentially, for the most part, are fans of the Stargate TV series, not of the original Roland Emmerich movie. The TV series improved upon the movie immensely, but I don't think they care about that over at Amazon, MGM. Anywho, where were we? In the 3 years since the studio's acquisition, Amazon MGM has announced new film and television projects for virtually all of them. Rare exceptions include The Handmaid's Tale and Vikings franchises, which were already in active production when Amazon acquired the studio. Then there is Stargate. Because it has historically been such a valuable asset for the studio, Wright believes it will come back. But it's one of those series, it's a bit like Star Trek, that kind of struggled to get, renewals and all that stuff. Even though it was really popular and it had a solid fan base, it kind of always struggled to get renewed, didn't it? Anyway, Wright himself wrote a pilot script for a fourth live-action Stargate series back in 2020, just as he was ready to take it out for pitch meetings. The COVID pandemic shut down global film and television production. Whew. The window on that project closed as MGM entered into discussions to sell to Amazon, who ultimately passed on Wright's script. As I said, they don't give a monkeys about the legacy. I'm doing quotes again. Stargate Legacy coming mid-2026. Just thought I'd throw that in there. I do know that part of the reason there's been a hold-up is that MGM was for sale for a significant amount of time before it was actually purchased, Wright said. Just before the pandemic, MGM did ask me to write a new pilot script for Stargate, which made me very excited. I imagine it did, because NBC, I wonder if it paid for it. It must have been. How much do you get paid? They just say, write me a script. Okay, how much are you going to pay me? I don't know. I don't know the going rate. I don't know anything about Hollywood, so I don't know why you're listening to me now. Anyway, because NBC Universal asked for it. What's it got to do with them? And so I did, and then the pandemic happened, and then the president of MGM got fired, and then Amazon bought MGM, and that was that for that project. And there's the destiny from Stargate Universe. As the franchise barrels towards 15 years off the air, what will it take for Amazon to reach into its deep pockets and bring back Stargate? They don't have to have deep pockets to bring back Stargate, but that's the thing with modern streaming services. They think they've got to spend like hundreds of millions of dollars on these series to make them look like movies, hour-long chunks of movies on screen, and you don't. Anyway, today, all that long-time fans can do is speculate about what could be holding things up and how Stargate can best be positioned to make a triumphant comeback, movie or streaming series, reboot or continuation. In the meantime, Wright himself is still at work planning a new science fiction show to pitch. After Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Universe, he created the time travel drama Travelers, which ran for 3 seasons on Netflix, and I'm sure a lot of people really enjoyed that, but I'm not interested in them doing new things, although I did like Dark Matter. I did enjoy that, but I've never seen Travelers, and I'm lying, I have seen it. I think I saw the pilot episode, or the first episode, and it didn't grip me, so I didn't carry on. That's not to say it's not good. One of the reasons I'm doing variations of the same theme is that I'm not letting it go, he said. I keep going back to the same well till I get to make the damn thing, however it changes. So I'm going to go out again with a new idea that is very much about identity and is very, very science fiction too. Was it Brad Wright that did Dark Matter? Or was it one of the others? Joseph Malozzi or one of the others, I can't remember who did Dark Matter, but that were really good. I really enjoyed Dark Matter, and bloody got cancelled and ended on a cliffhanger. Anyway. Is that it? We're done. Right, we're done. There we go. So that's the end of that article. By Darren from Gate World. The creator of Gate World, the mighty Darren. But anyway, I think he's been a little bit naive, is Brad, because I don't think MGM, Amazon, or whoever give a monkeys about the legacy of the series, and I think they'll just reboot it. It'll just be brand new, start from scratch, discovery of the Stargate, all that stuff. The Stargate itself will look more or less the same, I think, because it's a good design. It's the original Stargate design. I think it'll more or less the same, but I think they will add changes because they always do. They can't help themselves. There'll be all new characters. I don't think we'll have Daniel Jackson and all that stuff. We'll have Ra, obviously, because they'll keep that. They'll keep the basic skeleton of the storyline as in dig it up in ancient Egypt. It gets activated, go to another planet, blah blah. It'll be a reboot for the series, but I think with all new characters. I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the nature of the aliens. Ra. I don't think they'll be Goa'uld because they weren't in the original movie. I think they'll change that somehow. Don't ask me how. I have no idea. But we will see. I won't be surprised if they have robots. I won't be surprised if they had the baddies being alien robots, because that seems to be the thing. But who knows? I'm just throwing things out there into the ether. But anyway, so there we go. So anyway, Brad Wright seems confident that we're going to get some Stargate in one form or another at some point from Amazon MGM. They seem to be dragging their feet. They announce other things left, right and centre. But for some reason, Stargate just doesn't seem to take off. So I'm not holding my breath. But anyway, we will leave it there. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with waiting for new Stargate. I really am. I started watching it. I was on YouTube the other day, and I'd actually forgotten I'd bought Stargate Origins Catherine on YouTube, but I forgot, years and years ago when it came out, and so I started watching that the other day, and although it's kind of goofy, a bit cheap looking, it was actually nice to see Stargate with, it was honouring the legacy of Stargate, although, it didn't have a huge budget. But it was nice to see that again. I'd actually not seen it for a while. But if we do get any Stargate now, I think it'll be completely different. I don't think even the Stargate will look the same. We'll have all new characters, all new stories that'll be modern. I'm doing quotes again. For a modern audience. Which means it'll be poo. It'll be poo. We'll get new Stargate. A reboot of Stargate. We're probably going to get a reboot of the original series of Star Trek. Doctor Who will probably get rebooted at some point because that's just gone down in flames, hasn't it? Star Wars has its problems. They've cancelled or they've shelved indefinitely the Rey movie. Who knows what's going on these days? Right, we'll leave it there. So, I'm waffling, aren't I? So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.
That old Yorkshire geek with stories